Hi, I'm Doug Durbano, candidate, Republican candidate for U.S. Congress, 1st District of Utah. Today, in a very unconventional way, I come to you from our home to discuss some important issues leading up to your vote at the convention, the electronic convention. But if you're like me, today, it's hard for me to have my mind on the campaign. I'm a small business owner. I'm a family man. I happen to be over 60 years old. We're going through some difficult and challenging times. Again, if you're like me, you're nervous today about health, safety, welfare, for yourself, your family, your loved ones. If you're like me as a small business owner, today you're wondering about paying the bills. It's the 10th of the month. Making payroll coming up here in a week. And managing all those responsibilities. It makes campaigning seem trivial. But tough times call for tough action. You know the old saying, when the going gets tough, the tough get up and get going. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get going. So let's talk about this upcoming convention and how we're going to vote and why Doug. I already mentioned I'm a small businessman, but I'm also an attorney. For 35 years, I've lived by my oath to defend the Constitution as an attorney. I carry a small pocket Constitution with me. So my number one principle is to re-enthrone the Constitution, to make it great again. We have to live by the restrictions of the Constitution and the liberties granted to us in the Constitution. So that's my number one promise. Every decision I make as an elected official will be screened through the Constitution. I know the Constitution, and I pat here to my heart. I know it here as well as here. I understand the Constitution emotionally. I understand what the fathers intended. It was an inspired document. It's still an inspired document. Let's use it. 2. One of the main motivating factors for us to get involved is because we've never been an elected official before. But we decided we could just no longer tolerate the big money, the swampiness, the corruption. The system has become corrupt. We need to speak openly about it if we're going to change it. We believe in truth over harmony, so let's talk about this corrupt system. We know that this swamp back in Washington really turns out to be a hot tub where most of our elected officials get into it and think, you know, I could take a good long soak here. And suddenly we see voting that is not consistent with the Constitution. So we have got to drain the swamp, and that means starting with the money, and that starts with us. So in our campaign, we don't take any money from the Washington, D.C., PACs, political, whatever they are. We don't take money from the swamp. We only accept campaign contributions from folks in the 1st District, and a maximum of $200, which is considered non-influential. Of course, that begs the question is, over $200 must be influential, right? Okay. So we don't do that here at the Durbano campaign. We owe our duty and allegiance only to the people, not to the big money. That's where we're at. It's actually bribery, but that's another discussion. So, root out the corruption. We're all about it. Next, there's a 4th branch of government known as bureaucracies that are completely out of control. We have fought the bureaucracies before. We have won. We'll take the fight to them now from inside. Everything through the Constitution. If bureaucracies don't withstand the challenge of the Constitution, they go. Last, we are convention only. So we ask you that we might be ranked as your number one candidate. Why? Because we chose not to get involved with the swampy money that leads to the ability to get signatures. It's a $100,000 process typically. Let's be honest, we know that's how rhinos and Democrats can get on the ballot. So we chose not to do that. We will trust you as delegates to vet us. Go to our website, durbanoforutah.com. Check us out. Check all the candidates out. We have a delegate portal. If you think that we are consistent with your values, vote us your number one choice, or at least number 2. Thank you. God bless. Be well.